Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to the sincere Akwath, and Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this article in regards to dust storms and lightning that kill at least 96 people in northern India. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says, dust storms, heavy rain, and lightning have killed at least 96 people in the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh and damaged homes and other structures, officials said. According to them, more than 50 people were injured in these weather-related incidents across several districts of Uttar Pradesh, India's most populous state, on Wednesday. Storms are common in northern India from March to June before the annual monsoon rains arrive. Officials said many deaths were caused by falling trees, collapsing structures, and lightning. Police and disaster response teams used chainsaws and cranes to clear fallen trees from roads and railway tracks in several districts. Narendra Srivastava, an administrative official, said emergency teams were deployed across the affected areas and that homes, crops, and power infrastructure were widely damaged, particularly in rural parts. The storm came suddenly, and the sky turned completely dark within minutes, Ram Kishore said. Tin roofs were flying, and people ran indoors. We could hear trees falling throughout the evening. In neighboring Badaui district, Savitri Devi said her family narrowly escaped after strong winds damaged their mud house. Said we rushed outside when the walls started shaking because of the wind, she said. Our roof collapsed moments later. We spent the night at a relative's house. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath ordered officials to complete relief operations within 24 hours and for authorities to provide emergency aid and compensation to affected families. Yeah, so the Lord just brought some heavy judgment out there to northern India. And this is what the last days are going to be looking like. A lot of storms, a lot of tempests, a lot of fires, a lot of earthquakes, a lot of destruction, a lot of death. Psalms 9:16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion Selah. Yeah, and the Lord brought that judgment. The Lord brought that storm upon those people that resulted in 96 people being killed. You know, the men of the Lord keep saying that, these last days, they're not going to be fun. They're going to be terrifying and full of great judgment. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And in the article it said that 96 people got killed and several others got wounded. because of these storms that the Lord sent upon northern India. And there was nothing that could have been done to stop those storms from happening, because that's judgment straight from the Heavenly Father. First Samuel 2:6. The Lord Yahweh killeth, and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave, and bringeth up. Yeah, so for all the people that want to say, oh, this was Mother Nature, no, it wasn't. This was the work of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. He's the one who sent that storm. He's the one who wounded and killed those people and caused that destruction. He gets all the credit. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is that nobody perishes being innocent. So those 96 plus people who have died as a result of that storm that the Lord unleashed upon northern India, those people were wicked in the eyes of the Lord. The Lord was angry with them, and he brought heavy judgment upon them to punish them for their wickedness. Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's what's happening. In these last days, the vengeance and the anger and the wrath of the Lord is being poured out upon the earth and upon these wicked people. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for those 96 people, it was their time to die. And that's why, out of all the people that were in the area where the storm hit, those 96 people are the ones who are no longer here. Because according to the will of the Lord, it was their time to die. Psalm 79:6. Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. And out there in India, they're not calling upon the names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And they're out there doing whatever wicked heathen customs that they are used to doing out there. Worshipping false idols and just overall provoking the Lord unto wrath. And now the Lord has poured out his wrath upon them. And the Lord will continue to pour out his wrath upon them. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And the Lord sent that storm upon northern India, and it caused a lot of damage, a lot of destruction. People got wounded, and people got killed. And that is the Lord visiting those people. Isaiah 28:2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And the Lord sent that destroying storm. People's homes got destroyed as a result of this storm. Salakia. A lot of judgment took place out there, and best believe that's not the last of it. As we get further into the year, the Lord is going to send more storms and tempest upon those people out there in northern India, as well as basically everywhere else in the world. Because these are the days of judgment. What was I thinking? Oh, yeah. Psalms 83:14, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And that's exactly what the Heavenly Father has been doing, sending out these storms and tempests to bring judgment upon these wicked people, to wound them, to kill them, to destroy their homes, to scare them. And it's clearly working, because people are very afraid when, that torrential rain hits, when that lightning hits, when that thunder hits. This is not a joke. Hebrews 10:31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And that's right, and we see it every day with the multitude of judgments that are executed upon these wicked people every day. We see why it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And this is why, the men of the Lord are constantly saying that we have to stay prayed up, and we have to continue to rehearse the righteous acts daily and follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, because we don't want the Lord to be angry with us, because we see every day what happens to those whom the Lord is angry with. The Lord is continuing to pour out his wrath upon the earth, and a lot of people are getting destroyed as a result. James 4:9, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. And clearly, with all the judgments that the Lord is pouring out upon the earth, a lot of people are being afflicted, and they are mourning and weeping. People are losing their business. People are losing their job. People are losing loved ones. People are losing their homes. A lot of people, things are not the way that they used to be for them. That's why so many people talk about they wish they could go back to when things were simpler. Because in this day and age, it's just constant judgment. Every time you turn around, you can't get away from it. You go on social media and all you see is judgment. So somebody got stabbed, somebody got shot. There was a car crash, there was a fire, there was a storm that caused a bunch of destruction. You have the wars that are happening. You have the economic issues that are happening, the global economic issues that are happening. It's like everywhere you turn, it's just something quote unquote bad is happening. And like I said before, because these wicked people don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures to keep them comforted in these times with the knowledge and understanding of why these things are happening, a lot of people, they're just completely stressed out and depressed. Like a lot of people are on the verge of just losing their mind and crashing out because it's too much for them. There's a lot going on and there's no relief from it. These people, They'll drink themselves to death, or they'll do drugs, to try to cope with all the stress and depression that they're experiencing. But it's not enough. And it's never going to be enough. Because the Lord is just going to continue to pile on the judgments. Like it says in 2 Ezra 8:50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Many great miseries are clearly happening throughout the world. The earthquakes, the fires, the storms, the tempests, the famines, the power outages, the wars. It's just constant, frequent, non-stop judgments. But those of us of the hopeful elect have to keep in mind that this is the vengeance and the wrath and the anger and the fury of the Lord being poured out upon the earth to punish these wicked people who daily provoke him unto wrath with their continual wickedness. You have the men of the Lord all over the world warning these people and letting them know that all the wickedness that they're doing, it's going to get them visited by the Lord. The Lord is going to pour out his wrath upon them. And instead of taking heed to those warnings, people will disregard the warnings, and they'll mock and scoff and scorn at those men of the Lord. So the Lord is like, okay, you don't want to listen to my men and heed the warnings. Now you got to get punished. Now I have to hurt you. Now I have to kill you. And that's what's happening. And that's what's going to continue to happen. And it's going to get worse and worse by the day, until the kingdom of heaven gets established. Like it says in 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. You look up perilous and it means full of danger or risk. And these are clearly some times full of danger. At every turn there's danger. And it's dangerous in particular for these wicked people, because the righteous will always have the hedge of protection of the Lord over them, guiding them and keeping them safe. But these wicked people, they have no hedge of protection. There is nobody that can save them from the wrath of the Lord that is about to be unleashed upon them. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath. Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.